I love a good horror series. And on top of that, I love a horror creator that finds success in the space. And speaking of success, the first person that comes to mind right now is Kane Pixels as we get approach the premiere of his Backrooms movie. So I thought what better to do than to not watch the Backrooms series just yet, but to take a look at another one of his mini-series, People Still Live Here. If you have not seen this, the link is in the description, and you should definitely, if you enjoy what we watched today, go and support Kane Pixels by clicking on his link in either the description or the pinned comment. He is quite fantastic, and I'm sure that if you love horror, you'll love what you find there. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Oh, that's not a person. Like, that's not a living person. Okay. No, that is a person. I feel like that's Morse code, but also that was really fast. But I feel like maybe that could have been Morse code, but we'll see what comes. Marathon 8 Software Incorporated. Okay. This interactive video game is a comprehensive reconstruction of the events experienced and documented by Clifton J. Staywell between 1934 and 1946 in memory of Clifton J. Staywell. What a start. People still live here. You lie awake, unable to take your mind off what you discovered out in the swamp. Tomorrow, you will return to that place. Do you remember the overgrown man from when you were a child? Oh, this gets me excited. He said you must go to the meadow alone. You always wondered what he had meant by that. I mean, I have an idea. Wow. I just have to say, this is fantastically impressive. Just the fact that this was all made for this series. Just incredible. And I'm loving the visuals so far. It's very much PlayStation 1, PS2, like from the sound design to the visuals to the gameplay, all of it. Find all 3 items and leave before sunset. The wampum watch and the compressor. Okay. So it's kind of like a Slenderman-y type thing. On a very open map. There's something out. What are these? Interesting. So we find the watch first. Interesting that we didn't enter the windmill right away. Oh. We can go out this way. Okay. See, the PS1 graphical quality adds, because from a distance you really can't tell what is going on or what's actually there. We can see a little bit of distortion, discoloration in the distance, but we don't actually know what's out there. It's a map of some kind. Coming back to it, it features 6 yellow flowers and 6 blue flowers. I would have expected we'd find something in there. But obviously there's something out here in the distance. I still think it's interesting that that the windmill wasn't searched when that was the closest thing. We're coming upon a fountain with the belt. So we have 2 of 3 items needed. Seeing that we can come so far out, the question is, where are the boundaries and how far out can we actually go? from the note. So if you remember correctly, the note had a red diagonal arrow to go. So they're not flowers, they're hoops. But the red arrow went diagonally through them. Interesting. We can now see something else is in the distance. Oh. Where to go, you can see through the hoops. Looking that direction, that makes sense. We're having something pop up. See, at this point, I would have turned around at some point just to make sure nothing was following me. It's interesting how the bright, welcoming, but yet empty setting that we're in right now in this video makes you forget the setup of the overgrown man wanting him to come to the swamp alone. So while I feel, lowering our guard now, that's something to still keep in mind. Keep in the back of our... We're going to take a little rewind for that. We're going to actually slow it down. So this seems to be like a railway crossing that's moving. Interesting. Well, we continue. It's also an interesting items that we're collecting. Or seem to have moved on from the building we're going to towards this rail crossing. Back on track towards the building. The building, that might I add, feels very out of place in this setting. So we can't get in. Okay. I think things are going to take a turn now. Yeah. Immediately, there's already a feeling of dread and unease as we come down. But now we're in this complex. For a game called People Still Live Here. Oh. There seems to be a striking lack of people. We also have this symbol around and a door. Okay.
Oh, thank goodness. Finally someone has opened the door. I've been stuck in this room forever. The shepherd's not mad, is he? I was just...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that was common clothing in 1934. But again, I may be wrong.
trying to look at the computers to see where my favorite people were moved to. It's been a long time since I've read computer works, though, so I can't figure out how to get their location out of the machine. I think it's time for me to go home. Thank you for opening this door.
And like that, he's gone. Okay. And there's our compressor. Return home. Interesting. I have expected the door to shut as we tried walking out. Going back to close the gate again. Interesting.
Hey! Hey, you! Over here! Hey! Hey, you! Over here! Hey! You're not going to tell anyone I was here, are you? I mean, you're technically allowed to. But I would really appreciate it if you didn't. I don't want people to think I'm spying on their thoughts. I wouldn't do that.
Oh, here comes the train. Okay, so... Okay. I wonder how getting back to home is going to be. I think there's also something particularly unnerving about the fact that this entity can move so fast and all you can do is walk. You can't even run. Not that that would do much good, but it's just the idea that you can't even get a little bit of an increase in your speed. Something's coming. I feel like the environment's changed since we were last here. It's coming to get us just before we make it back. But we made it just in time. It was going much slower. You made it. Day 1 complete. Time 8:53. All 3 items. Save them. And classic Kane pixels. You can immediately see what we're looking at now. This is the entity that was chasing across the map, just without the bottom half. But we now know for sure that it is a train crossing. Moving on to day 2. Find all 3 items and leave before sunset. Feather, sundial, and bowling ball. Okay, and leave before sunset. I forgot about that part. But it doesn't seem like time moves until... But the map has changed. The map has changed quite a bit, actually. Of course, coming back to where we found the watch last time, there's no picnic blanket anymore, it's just rocks. For visual use only. Yeah, we have shoes. Interesting.
Bad news, buddy. These are my last balloons. I'm gonna have to keep them to myself. Say, you wouldn't happen to know Anne the painter, would you? I'm her biggest fan, but she won't let me have any of her paintings because she's mad about the color of my balloons.
So we're finding a new more
Tell you
people.
what, if you can get me one of her paintings, I'll call my fire balloon down and you can have whatever's inside. Sound like a deal?
So are we at a solar farm? I feel like that's what this is. A solar panel farm. In front of this barn that's barricaded. I think there's an interesting thing to note. The reappearance of power-related elements. In the very first video, they were creating like friction energy from the gears and everything, getting it to work. And the second one, there was the windmill. That was the big thing. And the third one, you saw the big windmills. And this one now is solar panels. Just an interesting thought. Oh. So now we're starting to see the appearance of people existing. Interesting. Minesweeper. Lovely. This would easily defeat me because I am no good at Minesweeper. I have tried, but I am not good enough. No, say no that. Okay. 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 We know that one of those three is safe in the left. I don't know much about Minesweeper. I do know a little bit. There you go. I can't say I'd be doing better. Wow. That's a nice board. That opens a lot of it, actually. You know a lot of what's there. Wow, that was a great guess. And there we have our sundial. And still no interaction from the guitar player. I have to say, despite having more people, it now feels much more desolate and empty than the last one did. I think for one, it's because everything's so far apart now, but now you see the contrast of where there are people present versus where there aren't. Now that actually truly highlights the emptiness between. What do we have here? Anne Hessen Garden Spire 2 kilometers. Anne's the artist. So that's what. Obviously, we know that one of the items we're looking for is in the hot air balloon. So you need to get the painting. interesting that our player doesn't go directly to the point of interest. They instead tend to look around everything except the point of interest, but that doesn't do them harm. It tends to actually be what they're supposed to do. What do we have up here? These look like homes. And again, interesting choice that the player doesn't try and enter any of them. Except for the last one. And here we have another person again.
Goodness, look at you intruding upon my personal space. Can't you see I'm in the middle of an illustration? No matter. I've been struggling to complete this piece for a long while. Could it be that you're the assistant the shepherd promised me? I was beginning to think he had forgotten.
So they speak about the
Let's test your
shepherd.
artistic eye. Where should my last portion of lime green paint go?
That is one thing to notice. In the last one, the man that was released from the server room also spoke about the shepherd. That's something definitely that I hope we get some clarification on. My thought is that the shepherd happens to be this overgrown man.
My goodness, that is just magnificent work. It looks just like one of the classics. As an expression of my gratitude, I'd like you to go pick out a painting of mine to keep. I store them over there inside of the blue bandstand. Go on now.
And here's our feather. Interesting. So making it farther into the dark. Seems our player has actually wasted their time and it's nearly nightfall. Again, there's a change in the atmosphere. Sunset's coming, and we don't have the final item. The question now, though, is what is going to chase the player character, because we haven't seen the rail crossing entity in this one. But we can see the player is cautious now. Interesting. The shepherd is coming. Well, here's our clarification on the shepherd. We hear there's an extra sound now in the footsteps. Is that the shepherd? That looks like something moving towards. Interesting. Giving up. See, our player won't make it back. But if they do, would they be able to get into their home without the bowling ball? Of course, the rapid mouse movements just make it feel like you're going faster. I think the shepherd's about to grab them. Or do they make it back? They make it back. Interesting. Okay. So we've seen it all now. It's a short series, like I said. It's a mini series. It's only 5 videos in it. Going back through, there's a couple of things that we can see to hopefully add some additional context. For one, starting back at the beginning with Staywell, it was indeed Morse code. And luckily for me, a commenter has already decoded it. The message says, "And now my body has become one with a faraway land. I am the meadow and the sky all around. You work on the land, and so you work for the land, and in return the land accepts you. You may think your work is finite and conclusive when the time comes to depart, but the land will always remember what you gave to it, and in time you and your work will live on through the land." Moving from there, in the description of people still live here, the day one, we have a link to a image about Clifton J. Staywell. Bridgewater. Clifton J. Staywell, 80 of Bridgewater, died on Saturday, February 12th, 1994. Born in Bridgewater on February 8th, 1914, he was the son of the late Edward and Mary Holmes Staywell. A lifelong resident of the area, he is remembered for his sharp mind and unique outlook on life. He pursued mathematics professionally after World War II, working as a human computer for local firms and government projects, and then as a rate analyst for New England Telephone. He spent his later years in the care of family members, particularly his niece, Anne Timmerman. A quiet and introspective man, he was often seen walking near the edges of the Hockomock Swamp or sitting on the porch of the Bridgewater Public Library with a small notebook in hand. He is survived by his nephew Michael Staywell of Frederick, MD, along with several other nieces, nephews, and extended family members. He was predeceased by his sister, Margaret Hartman, and his brother, Edward Staywell. A burial service officiated by the Reverend Mark Howard will take place on Saturday, February 19th at Old St. Thomas Aquinas Cemetery, where Mr. Staywell will be laid to rest alongside his parents. Memorial contributions may be made to the Friends of the Bridgewater Public Library, 15th South Street, Bridgewater. Coming to the final video in the series, Sunshine, the description reads, "Video taken sometime between April 2023 and September 2024. The context: previously unimpacted individual is granted natural passage to Meadow Outland Steps, uncertain locality, via derelict structure in Northern California, USA. Additional footage was found along with this 18-second clip and is currently being reviewed for potential release." There's not a lot to go off of with this 5-episode miniseries. One thing we can pull, though, is using the newspaper clipping from the second video in the series. We know that Clifton J. Staywell, the man that this series kind of revolves around, died in Bridgewater and lived in Bridgewater, Massachusetts his entire life. We can tell from this that the Meadow Outland Steps, he somehow transported from Northern California across the country to Massachusetts. Particularly, I believe, to the Bridgewater Triangle, which, if you are not familiar with this, it is somewhat like the Bermuda Triangle. It is a concentrated area of paranormal activity in Massachusetts, including the Hockomock Swamp, which is a large wetland that is much of the northern part of southeastern Massachusetts, and it is considered the largest freshwater swamp in the state. Hockomock was also a native burial ground, and so there are many stories and legends associated with the swamp. I believe that this series, while not directly delving into it, is in some way exploring the more fantastical, mythical aspects of the Bridgewater Triangle, including the idea of the overgrown man, which is akin to being a Sasquatch, Bigfoot. I don't have answers for this series. I don't know how Staywell fits into it. But while I believe that this idea of a series takes place somewhat around the Bridgewater Triangle, I think it's more of an other space. These hills, it feels very Teletubbies. Very liminal greenery, clouds, not many people, not many structures, not a lot going on. And Sunshine very much sells the piece that whoever was transported into the game. People still live here. So with that, I don't know. Hopefully Kane Pixels comes back and continues this series. I would love to see this go further. This was super interesting, and I always love the old PlayStation gameplay mixed with live action footage. I think that it's always a good mix, and I think that this is starting to tell a really interesting story. I just want more. So I hope that after the Backrooms, potentially people still live here might get something new. But if you enjoy, please go down and subscribe to Kane Pixels. Support the author, support the original creator. Because if you support them, then they can make more. It tells them that that you enjoy it and that it's worth their time. So please, for nothing else, go check out Kane Pixels. His link, again, will be in the description down below and the top pinned comment. I hope you all enjoyed your little romp in the dark with me tonight. This is a brand new project I am taking on, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I am. If there are any videos, series, projects you would like me to check out, let me know in the comments. But with that, I will see you in the dark very soon.